Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us live downtown in Colorado Springs. I'm Niki Weirich. Some weather changes blowing our way. Look for snow, cold temps, and a lot of wind. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us tonight. I'm Niki Weirich. Zane Asher has the latest from Boston now in tonight's top story. We have more on those protests now in tonight's top story. Walmart workers walking off the job on one of the busiest shopping days of the year. And shots fired. 2 people are found dead inside a Colorado Springs home today. Good evening, everyone. Thanks so much for being with us live downtown. I'm Niki Weirich. We have more on the Colorado wildfires in tonight's top story. The Springer fire continues to burn near Lake George. Right now, it's about 39% contained. Hundreds of firefighters continue to battle the wildfire in northern Colorado. The High Park fire, which was sparked by lightning, is now 55% contained. Welcome back to our coverage of the Waldo Canyon fire. We appreciate you sticking with Fox 21 News as we keep you up to date on the situation. And luckily, a pretty good day as far as putting this fire out, now up to 15% containment. Crews making a lot of progress over there by Highway 24. We just talked to the mayor of Woodland Park. Sounds like they're doing a good job as far as the containment lines go, which is ever important, those dozer lines, keeping that fire from spread.
It's helping.
So that was Barbara. That was the exact same woman that Sade Malloy just had live out at UCCS, and everything she owns now in the back of her car. Yep. She lost everything. He's one of only 865 chief fire officers in the entire world, and you'll find him in Pueblo. We're talking about Chief Chris Riley. Sounds good. Thanks, Jeff. A little girl and her family needs your help. Ivy is a 7-year-old with a birthday coming up, and her family is hoping to provide her with a present that will change her life forever. Fox 21's Abby Burke joins us live in the studio now with more on this story. Abby? All right, so this is the entire thing. Basically, it comes in 3 different pieces, and then this is the bag. Well, no matter how you bag it, picking up after your dog really stinks. Oh. Sorry. If you're interested in the vacuum, it'll cost you about $100. It comes with 10 bags, and for an extra $10.50, you can order 100 more. So
my eyes are watering from
be perfect for Marshall. Come on. Ooh, I love that sound. Hear that sound? The sound of change.
You're not gonna be yelling at me or anything.
Jeez, Terry. Makes me out to be the newsroom bully. That's Trav.
Nikki.
All right, sounds good. Thanks so much, Terry. Pistol pointing. A father is arrested for doing just that to his daughter just because she didn't get straight A's. More on his arrest still to come. Well, if you're at a Browns game this season and someone asks you if you want a chocolate and orange fudge shot, say yes. It's probably more like last night, so you can see the difference.
I got 3. We can make a little hail figure there.
No fun. Little puppet sitting there in the chair.
I don't know. This is #1 weird going on here.
We were desperate for a viral video today, folks. We apologize. If you ever have any good ones, please send them to us because we're always trying to find good ones.
Okay, so that one doesn't get a passing grade, is that it?
It was fine. It was funny.
Wow.
Right, I mean,
stellar performance, Nikki.
Poor catcher stood up. He was rubbing his hand. Stick with us. We've got a live interview next on National Healthcare Decision Day. What you need to know coming up. National Healthcare Decision Day, which is coming up in April. First, explain what this day is designated for. And thank you for being with us tonight. For more news and weather, you can always check out our website, fox21news.com. We'll see you back here tonight at 9. Have a good one. National reports have called out our country's obesity problem and the impact it can have in building a successful military, which is why on Fort Carson you'll find a resiliency campus with anything and everything to keep our soldiers in shape.
What kind of training, son? Army training, sir! Army training, sir!
In the 1981 movie Stripes, they make light of Army training, but there's nothing light about it. More than half our soldiers are struggling with it.
Currently, 62% of the Army is overweight or obese. So we're going to place the client back on the mask.
A few months ago, I got to my peak at about 235 pounds.
Meet Sergeant Ryan Musel.
Gotten a little bit older, so metabolism slows down. You start moving a little bit slower.
He tried to deny it for a while.
You're at 70% of your maximal heart rate.
I actually kind of hit it. I bought the bigger uniforms and stuff, so it puffed up.
But that only lasted so long.
The peers and people that I work with a lot of the time, they could still tell, and they used to make you know, chubby jokes and stuff like that. So that was really what motivated me to start working out.
Between that and the staff at the Army Wellness Center on Fort Carson, Ryan is making progress.
We're taking every soldier with height weight failure in the brigade and we're bringing them through here in mass. We add it all up and that's how many calories the client burns in a day. It's a testing with the education piece that really helps and is proven to work on soldiers to help them lose weight.
There are 3 tests. First, body fat.
Okay, Ryan, just have a seat. All right. You're going to breathe naturally and limit movement, please, okay?
Step into the state-of-the-art bod pod.
If you just weigh yourself on a scale, you don't know if you're gaining muscle or losing fat or anything. So what the bod pod does, it breaks it down for you, and it will be able to tell through calculations exactly how much of Ryan is, the soldier is body fat versus how much is lean tissue.
The results are pretty instant.
Fat mass is decreased. Way to go, buddy.
Next, the metabolism test.
The key to this test is to not talk and not fall asleep.
This test gives the soldier an idea of how many calories they need in order to lose weight and reach their goals.
All your vital functions are going to be measured with this test. Now I want you to grab that. Now keeping your back straight, your knees slightly bent, looking straight up, I want you to pull up as hard as you can, okay? Ready to go.
And finally, the physical test.
This test is based upon his heart rate, based upon age. Let's go ahead and put this heart rate monitor on.
For a civilian, these tests could cost $1,200 each time. Here, it's free to soldiers and their spouses.
Once they see the money that's been put into this program and the benefits it could have to them, they really leave here with a lot of motivation.
Ryan is down to 202 right now. Remember, he started at 235.
Trying to get down to 185, but if I can get below that, then hey, it's bonus.
And he's still got about 17 more pounds to reach that goal.
The excuses will always be there for the soldier, but we're going to give them every opportunity and every tool possible in order to help them reach their goals and be mission ready.
So am I to understand that you men completed your training on your own? That's the fact, Jack! That's the fact, Jack!
Well, Tony says the cost to maintain a state-of-the-art facility are not as high as the cost to fight diseases that come with being overweight, like diabetes, hypertension, and orthopedic injuries. That bod pod you saw was $80,000. It's only about 4 months old, and already more than 2,000 soldiers have used it. Terry?
But you
My dancing isn't very good, but my singing is pretty good. It's... What's this mean?
So-so.
Oh.
We'll talk about it later. We got to look at the week's worth here. What about your singing? It's okay.
All right. We'll see you at 9.
Call him the $1 Million Baby, a walking miracle, or Wesley. This little 3.5-year-old will have quite the story when he's old enough to tell it.
You could just see this bubble. You know, you could actually see it just looked like a bubble on where his belly was. And I'm like, what is that? You know?
Wesley Scrock was born with a rare condition called omphalocele, in which all his organs were protruding from his body when he was born inside this bubble.
He had the large and small intestine, the stomach, spleen, and liver.
It's not definite, but Wesley's doctor at the Cleveland Clinic believes it was caused by a kink in the umbilical cord, causing his organs to rupture through his belly button. Only 1 in every 10,000 babies are born with the complication.
When I first found out, all I did was cry for the first day because I'm thinking, oh my God, how does this kid lead a normal life? You know, if surgery's successful, then what? I mean, can he ever, like, play football, play sports, get hit in the stomach?
But for the most part, he did lead a normal life, although some things like crawling were a little difficult.
He never crawled. He scooted on his butt. He would scoot all around on his bottom. So needless to say, every onesie had rips on the bottom, huh?
By the time he turned a year old, doctors thought they could correct Wesley's bubble. But that didn't happen. Took much longer for this little guy to build up enough strength to tolerate a life-threatening procedure.
At 3.5 years, I'm like, okay, it's 3.5 years, you know, I mean, I want him to start school and preschool and kindergarten. I said, are we going to be done? And he's like, definitely, you know, he goes, he'll be ready.
And to make the operation a little easier, Dr. John DiFiore and his team learned of a new surgical procedure done out of state, but never at the Cleveland Clinic. They would expand Wesley's bubble.
They put it in the balloon, filled it with saline so much every day, and just let it expand. They had done other umbilical repairs, but this was the first time they had ever used an expander to expand the area to help the organs go in, so this was a first for them.
And it worked. Today, less than 2 months after that life-threatening surgery, Wesley's bubble has deflated. As he pulls up his shirt, he shows us his organs are securely in place, and he's doing great. In fact, it was hard for me and his 6-year-old brother Wyatt to keep up with him at his McDonald home. Along with regular checkups, Wesley's on medication to help his digestive tract, and he munches down extra doses of protein and, okay, a little ice cream too.
Once his incision completely heals, that he can do whatever he wants to do, sports, whatever, he goes, it'll be just like, you know, nothing ever happened to him.
And by this time next year, little Wesley Scruck will be starting preschool. Perhaps it'll be there that he'll tell his story, the story of the $1 million baby.
Good evening, Sade. That's exactly right. We are live inside the World Arena tonight. In just about 30 minutes, we're in store for an amazing show here at the World Arena. I'll tell you, I was here for some of the sound checks earlier in the afternoon, and really some heartfelt performances tonight. So it's going to be a great show. We're actually in the VIP room right now, but if you take a look behind me, you can see the stage. Folks really starting to pile in. There are a few things I want to go over real quick. 8,000 tickets were given away for this free event. Every act is performing for free, and they include the Colorado Springs Philharmonic, the Flying W Wranglers, Michael Martin Murphy, Flash Cadillac, and Isaac Slade, the lead singer of the Fray. Parking is $5, but here's the great part about this. That money will go directly toward the Waldo Canyon Victim Assistance Fund, and you can also donate anytime online at ppunitedway.org. So everyone from the staff here at the World Arena to the performers, like I said, donating their time for this free event in reality would have cost over $100,000 to put on. And just a side note, there is a very, very, very special guest that will be joining us tonight. I can't say who yet, but it's definitely someone you'll want to hear from and you'll want to tune in for. Joining me right now is Amy Lathan, El Paso County Commissioner. Thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Absolutely, it's my pleasure.
Well, talk a little bit about your role in getting FEMA involved with the Waldo Canyon fire and, of course, the Disaster Recovery Center, which folks are still using.
Oh my gosh, they're pouring in. Obviously, with the county, we are statutorily responsible for bringing in aid during disasters like this. And so when we signed the disaster declaration, that triggered all kinds of different aid, all kinds of different emergency operations plans. In addition to that, just this Saturday, we started the Disaster Recovery Center. And that is a place where people can walk in, one-stop shop, so to speak, where we have nonprofits, faith-based agencies, the commercial sector, private sector businesses, governmental agencies.
Really anything you could think of.
Absolutely anything to get these folks back up on their feet. Their insurance companies are there. Regional building is there. We've got our health department. There are folks who didn't have their medications and didn't take them for days. And so we're calling primary care docs. We're calling pharmacies and making sure that they've got the supplies that they need.
And real quickly, tell us how important getting support from FEMA was in this situation.
Oh, it's so important, obviously, to bring in as much aid as we possibly can, because the number one issue for us was to support that firefight. As a matter of fact, that's still the number one mission of El Paso County, to continue to support the ongoing firefight. We're getting really close, but we'll continue that. And then secondly, of course, to support everyone in need throughout this county, and that's why we're bringing all of these partners together.
Amy Lathan, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Absolutely.
We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And we want to make folks clear on one thing, that this is not a celebration concert. This is a tribute concert. This fire still has a long way to go. We're not at 100% containment, which is the goal, of course, so stay tuned and we'll keep you updated on the Waldo Canyon fire as it progresses. And reporting live here from the World Arena, I'm Niki Weirich. We hope you tune in. We're also streaming live on our website, fox21news.com.